Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at crude oil futures today. This is our 240-minute chart. You can see that for the last several days now, crude oil has been in a downtrend. I mean, we are making lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, another lower low. And then things started to shift right here. We left this bottoming tail, and then we had this indecision doji right here. And then things started to change. We had a bottoming tail. The entire body of this bar was buying. Now we ran up to the 5 EMA and left a little bit of a topping tail, but momentum was shifting. We went from negative momentum to positive momentum, and then this was a really bullish bar, little bottoming tail, and then the entire body of this bar is all buying. Opened at the bottom, closed at the top, above both moving averages. Came back, tested them. Another pretty bullish bar. Body was all buying, little topping tail, but that bar caused a change in trend, and that happened today. You can see this was our previous pivot high, and we broke above that pivot high. Now we still don't have an established uptrend yet because we don't have a lower high, but we have now broken the downtrend. So we have changed the trend from a downtrend to at the most neutral, because we have now broken the downtrend, and we have been pretty bullish. I mean, that's followed up by another really bullish bar. Open at the bottom, closed at the top. Crude had a nice bullish day today. In fact, it was over $3 off the lows, which for crude recently, that's actually been that's a nice move. So again, we've broken the downtrend. However, we still do not have an established uptrend yet. We have to come up, put in some kind of a higher low, and continue on to actually have an established uptrend. But like I said, we have broken the downtrend, which gave us some nice opportunities. I mean, these bullish bars right here gave us some really nice trading opportunities today. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. And right in here is where the pit opened this morning. And you can see in the overnight, crude put in that final exhaustion bar to the downside, and then it started working higher, consolidated, pushed up a little more, ran into the 50 EMA, found resistance numerous times, which often does happen. And then actually in the morning session before the pit open, pretty strong breakout out of this compression right here. Nice push higher out of compression. Pit open, pulled back, tested the 50 EMA yet again. 5 and 13 had crossed to the upside by then, set up the bull flag, left a nice bottoming tail off of the 50 EMA, triggered the bull flag for a nice push higher, pulled back into the 18, then had another nice continuation higher, ran into the 200, struggled a little bit here, set up a final bull flag in the afternoon for another final push to the upside. So you can see that bullish 240-minute chart was leading to a bullish 30-minute chart, which actually allowed us to have some pretty nice Unirenko trades. This was our first trade this morning. This is where the pit opened, triggered that bull flag. That bull flag was triggering right here as we were breaking this power line. You could see that on the Renko chart, trend had changed. We put in a pivot, a higher pivot low, broke to a higher pivot high, broke out of the cloud, pulled back into the cloud, and then triggered that 30-minute bull flag. And that was a nice run to the upside. Depending on how you managed your trade, you had the potential to get anywhere between $500 and $700 on that move up. And again, it just depends on how you were managing your trade, but definitely an opportunity on this first push, because I mean, we never even got a reversal bar until you could have banked at least $500 per contract. And again, that's potential, depends on how you're managing your trade. But this first push up, one little pullback here, a little pullback there, before we ever got a reversal bar. So you had the opportunity to lock in at least $500 per contract. And if you stayed with Trend Pro 2.0, that never even took you out of the trade. And so you had the potential to get more. And again, it just depends on how you're managing your trade. Then we got a pullback here, a little mini trend reversal breakout, actually back to the downside. Push down. And then this is where we set up our next trade. We broke above the cloud, pulled back into the cloud. All of our moving averages are in alignment. Make the wick out of the cloud. Picked up momentum just a little bit after the initial breakout of the cloud. And that's when we were triggering off the 18 EMA on the 30-minute chart. So we still had a nice bullish 30-minute chart as we were making this wick out of the cloud. And another nice push higher. And again, our target on this trade was actually all the way up at 36.66, which we eventually ended up getting to. So that was a nice potential push higher. Had the wick out of the cloud, actually waited till we had momentum, had the color change on Trend Pro 2.0. So the entry was in the 36.04 area. Depends on how you decided to take your entry. And again, our target was up at 36.66 and took profits right at our target, pushed up past it just a little bit. But again, another trade where you had the opportunity to, again, all depends on how you manage your trade, but potential to pick up another $500-600 per contract. Once again, all depends on how you're managing your trade. Those who trade with us in the afternoon know that we trade to targets all the time, and our target was 36.66. Again, we popped above it a little bit, but we hit target. Pull back again, and then set up that final bull flag on the 30-minute chart. That final 30 bull flag triggered in right here. Our next upside target was 37.14, actually 37.03, then 37.14. Our entry was 36.55. And again, we ran up to target, actually a little past it. The high ended up being 37.15, but our target was 37.13. So again, another potential to pick up another $500-600 per contract. Again, all depends on how you're managing your trade, what your risk tolerance is, because we had decent pullback here. Now, we never got a close under the 34, but pulled back to the 18, had a Trend Pro entry signal there. So if this little move back scared you out, you did get another opportunity to pick up a target or two off of that, and then another Trend Pro 2.0 into our target, which actually would have been good for one target as well if you entered on the wick off the 18. So you had a couple wick off the 18 opportunities if you didn't stick with the initial trade. Again, our target was 37.03, then 37.14. Ended up breaking above it by a tick or so. So some really nice opportunities in crude today based off of breaking the downtrend.